The first thing my mother did after reconciling with the powerful figure in the capital's elite was to lavish trillions in underworld money, standing before my grave to secretly negotiate with King Yama. She pleaded with King Yama to let her daughter reincarnate into her womb. This time, she would make me a wealthy heiress, living a life of comfort and privilege. Because in my previous life, I had studied relentlessly for the civil service exam, pulling all-nighters until I suddenly died. My mother blamed herself deeply, thinking it was her fault for not being capable enough, allowing her daughter to be drained to death by circumstances. She swore she would struggle to become a first-generation millionaire herself before allowing us to reunite. King Yama was swayed by her monetary power and decided to personally send me back into my mother's womb. But just before my reincarnation, he mysteriously leaned in and whispered a warning. Even when in the most secure position, you must be vigilant. Your father's first love, Blanche, has a secret daughter living outside. Later, she will kill your mother and seize everything that belongs to you. I immediately spat out all of Lady Meng's soup. No time to rest. To secure the hard-won wealthy destiny I finally obtained, this king must return to my mother's womb and fight. So later, when that illegitimate daughter came to claim her identity, I spat out my pacifier and, using a baby's voice, issued a command. Where did this little fox come from? Get out of my den right now. Bodyguards immediately appeared, and in less than 2 seconds they had restrained the illegitimate daughter, Tang Xin. Tang Xin's mouth twisted, her eyes wide with shock and disbelief. I can do a DNA test. I really am Tang Lichuan's daughter, the bodyguards chuckled. The previous 50 imposters said the exact same thing. You fraudsters, at least change your lines. Tang Xin was both confused and struggled. What 50 imposters? I'm his real daughter. If you dare to offend me, you'll regret it. Release me so I can see my father. But the bodyguards laughed even louder. Tang Xin didn't know that in my past life, I was a civil service exam champion. While other babies were still somersaulting in the amniotic fluid, I already knew how to use my baby voice to warn my mother. Mom, an illegitimate daughter has appeared. Get rid of her. Thanks to King Yama's reminder, my mother and I had already gathered 100 little girls who resembled Blanche. After unified training, the first imposter knelt before the Tang family's door. Daddy, I'm your long-lost real daughter. Seeing a face so similar to Blanche's, my father was overjoyed and immediately presented her with a chest of gold. But within 2 days, the DNA test results slapped him with a painful reality. How dare you try to fool me right to my face? My mother, far from being angry, pretended to be generous and comforted my father. Honey, if there truly is such a child, I will definitely treat her as my own daughter. My father was touched by my mother's gentleness and immediately transferred 50 million for her to spend. I seized the opportunity, climbed onto his shoulder, and cutely reminded him, Daddy, those swindlers want to trick you out of your money. His heart, once hurt by all the fakes, was instantly healed by me, the real deal. She's only 1 and already so sensible. Our Yiao is truly a prodigy. We must raise her well. My exclusive education fund was secretly established that day. I subtly curved my lips into a smirk. My father had congenital sperm weakness and couldn't have children for a long time. My mother had to undergo IVF 12 times before she could get pregnant with me. She tried so hard, so I couldn't possibly be a burden to her. Before long, the second and third imposters, arranged by me, also made their appearances. My father said nothing, only silently instructed the butler to take them for DNA tests. Back when I studied for civil service exams, I had a sea of questions, strategy. Now I have a sea of people, strategy. By the time the 30th imposter was arranged, the bodyguards could skillfully restrain and drag people away without even needing to report back to my father. Seeing Tang Xin's expected failure to be recognized, my mother and I exchanged knowing smiles. Success truly belongs only to the prepared, but my mother and I never let our guard down, always remembering King Yama's warning. We continued to employ the sea of people, strategy, until we had used all 100 imposters, while I grew up cherished by the entire Tang family. By the time I was 7, Tang Xin had grown up and returned. This time she carried Blanche's tokens, breaking through the defenses and directly approaching my father. Daddy, I really am your biological daughter. She successively pulled out photos of Blanche, handwritten letters, and even a birth certificate. Moreover, she was grown up, and her features strangely resembled Blanche's. My father gazed at her for a few seconds, his eyes gradually reddening. This girl is definitely not a fake. She looks exactly like Blanche, as if molded from the same mold. My mother and I immediately felt like we were facing a formidable enemy. Seeing my father about to lose control and acknowledge her, I quickly rushed into Tang Xin's arms, one step ahead. Sister, you finally appeared. Daddy has been waiting for you for so long. He'll probably take you for a DNA test soon. Don't be angry with him, okay? It's just that he's met too many swindlers before. My understanding and kindness brought tears to my father's eyes. Having such an obedient daughter like Yiao is the greatest blessing of my life. I subtly curved my lips into a smile. The skill of observing people's expressions, which I had honed while studying for the civil service exam in my past life, finally had a stage to shine. Seeing my father's satisfied smile, I tried even harder to show off. Sister, you must have had a tough few years, haven't you? Boo-hoo-hoo, I feel so sorry for you. Every time Tang Xin tried to speak, I would pull her hand and babble on without stopping. When she wanted to sit next to my father, I would squeeze in between, monopolizing his attention. Finally, Tang Xin couldn't take it anymore and angrily pushed me away. Dad, actually, I came to find you once before, years ago. It was this Tang Yao who, without even asking, called me a swindler. If she hadn't interfered, we might have recognized each other much sooner. Seeing me deliberately fall to the ground, Tang Xin sneered, "You green tea bitch, stop acting. I'm here to expose you." She thought my father would blindly believe her, but after 3 seconds of deathly silence, my father roared in anger, "You uneducated brat, how can you treat Yiao like that? You have no idea what has happened over the past few years. If anyone's to blame, it's your mother for running away with you back then. What right do you have to blame my precious daughter?" Sensing my father's anger, I suppressed my laughter, squeezed out a few tears, and hugged Tang Xin's leg, continuing the act. "I don't blame you, sister. I know you don't like me, feeling that I've taken a place that rightfully belonged to you. I'll try my best for you to accept me. Please don't hate me anymore, okay?" This deceptive display of affection instantly melted my father's heart. He hugged me tightly, saying with pity, "Don't worry, even if Tang Xin returns, you will always be the daughter I love most." I rubbed my cheek against his, crying while subtly slipping an unlimited black card into his pocket. Tang Xin was so furious her teeth ground together. The curses were on the tip of her tongue, but she had to swallow them back down. Seeing the hatred brimming in Tang Xin's eyes, I knew, this silent war has officially begun. Truly, know yourself and know your enemy, and you will win 100 battles out of 100. I flexibly applied the information-gathering skills I honed during my civil service exam preparation, quickly piecing together Tang Xin's entire background. Years ago, Blanche ran away pregnant because she found a richer man to replace my father. As it turned out, that man was a philanderer. Not long after, Blanche died of anger, and Tang Xin, having no blood relation, was kicked out of their house. Learning that my father had become an influential figure in the capital's elite, she was determined to reclaim her family ties and return to the upper class. After her initial failure, she patiently bided her time, intentionally waiting until she was grown up before reappearing to claim her tea. I secretly shook my head. It seemed I had underestimated Tang Xin's ambition. During this time, having personally witnessed my green tea tactics, Tang Xin also began to change her strategy. On one hand, she pretended to be friendly with me. On the other, she actively attended various parties to build her image, hoping to sneak into high society. I showed no emotion, secretly exposing her true identity. If she wanted to compete with me, she first needed to prove her capabilities. As expected, with my mother and I subtly fanning the flames, the more eager Tang Xin was to show off, the more disgusted people in high society became with her. Isn't Tang Xin's mother a gold digger? If her biological father hadn't gotten rich, would Tang Xin ever bother to acknowledge him? And she even dreams of stepping in to replace Tang Yao. The real young lady is truly dreaming in broad daylight. No one respected her, and she had no shame. Wearing high heels, she'd either trip or sprain her ankle. Having never seen society, she became a laughingstock the moment she opened her mouth. She even offended my father's business partners, causing him no small amount of embarrassment. Even my father started to dislike her, telling her not to go out and disgrace them anymore. However, her face, which resembled Blanche's, was Tang Xin's trump card. Whenever she caused trouble, she would tearfully wipe her eyes, looking pitiful. Who told me my mother died early? Since childhood, I've had no one to rely on, no proper education, I know nothing. As long as she cried, my father would soften, hand her a card to spend, telling her to choose whatever she wanted to learn. I will never let my daughter and Blanche's daughter suffer. Seeing Tang Xin getting a share of what was rightfully mine, my mother paced anxiously. Last time, I chose the wrong husband who was both poor and short-lived, causing you to work yourself to death. This time, I worked so hard to make you a wealthy heiress, hoping you'd grasp both money and power. And now, an illegitimate child pops up. I calmly comforted my mother. As long as I am outstanding enough, I will forever be the sole heir of the Tang family. As for Tang Xin, she will always be an unworthy, illegitimate child. Spurred on by Tang Xin, my inner academic genius, honed from studying for the civil service exam, fully awakened. A month later, I brought home a piano certificate from the Royal Academy of Music in England. 2 months later, I won the World Children's Taekwondo Championship. While my peers were still in 2nd grade, I had skipped to 5th grade, beginning preparations for my middle school entrance exams. My prodigious achievements shook the entire upper class. Companies vied to invite me as their brand ambassador, and others, admiring my talent, approached my father to collaborate on educational product development. My father not only expanded his business empire, but also gained the halo of a prodigy's father. And I transformed into a clever, mischievous little imp. From my grandparents to the drivers and nannies, everyone was charmed by me into obediently following my every word. Finally, with my grandparents' encouragement, my father waved his hand and said, "Transfer 5% of the company's shares directly to Yayo. She's so young yet already knows how to earn money and help her father. She truly deserves to be rewarded. From today onwards, you are a part of the company." Tang Xin was driven mad with jealousy. She gritted her teeth and dragged me into the bathroom. "Don't get cocky, Yayo. Everything you've stolen, I'll make you pay back, sooner or later." I blinked my big, round eyes, intentionally provoking her. "But sister, you haven't even finished vocational school. What do you have to compete with me?" I originally thought Tang Xin would get angry and strike, allowing me to catch her weakness. However, contrary to my expectations, from that time on, she outwardly pretended to be even friendlier with me. She started diligently studying makeup and fashion, and even enrolled in a prestigious young ladies' etiquette class. As her beauty and emotional intelligence gradually improved, quite a few young masters and ladies in high society began to befriend her. My mother and I racked our brains, but we never could have predicted that during the party my father hosted to entertain the allied Song family, Tang Xin would suddenly stand up. "Daddy, I know I can't be like Yayo and make contributions to the Tang family. That's why I want to marry the Song family's 2nd young master to unite our 2 families and help you elevate your career to new heights." After speaking, she hooked her arm through Song Lin's and deliberately shot me a contemptuous glance. Seeing my father give a thumbs up in praise, Tang Xin immediately took the seat next to him and whispered, "Song Lin doesn't object to the marriage, but the Song family requires me to marry in as the eldest daughter of the Tang family, bringing them great prestige. Once the relationship between our 2 families is solidified, with your abilities, Dad, you'll surely become the richest man in the country in no time." My father smiled brightly, publicly praising Tang Xin for the first time. "Truly my Tang Lichuan's daughter, not an ordinary person. As long as you marry successfully and help the Song family invest in us, you will become the most promising, legitimate eldest daughter of the Tang family." Tang Xin covered her mouth and giggled, then pretended to casually nudge me with her shoulder. "Oh dear, if I take Yayo's status as the legitimate eldest daughter, will she get angry?" I gritted my teeth, forcing a smile. "Why would I be angry? We're both Daddy's daughters, and as long as we can help him, I'm happy." Seeing Tang Xin's triumphant smile, I secretly clenched my fists. If Tang Xin legitimately became a meritorious figure of the Tang family, with the Song family's backing, killing me would be no different than stepping on an ant. My mother grew even more worried, frowning in frustration. "You're only 8 years old. Am I supposed to make you seduce Song Lin to sabotage the wedding?" I took a deep breath, my mind spinning rapidly. "Mother, I can't do it, but other women can." Having trained for civil service interviews in my previous life, I had long mastered the art of flexible improvisation. Based on my understanding of Song Lin, I selected a few girls who were exactly his type. Song Lin was originally a philanderer, not particularly favored by the Song family. That's why he was willing to cooperate with Tang Xin, with both of them using each other. To break this engagement, we had to strike from Song Lin's side. We found 2 innocent-looking girls to be Song Lin's assistants, and then chose 3 others who knew how to seduce and sent them to nightclubs to ensnare him. Song Lin was no good. He fell for it easily. Thus, the moment my father announced the engagement, the reporters I had arranged immediately snapped photos of Song Lin going to a hotel with various girls. Song Lin was scolded, behaved for less than a month, then resumed his affair with a young assistant. Time and again, he caused scandals, making Tang Xin restless. But besides pressuring Song Lin and openly bullying the other girls, she had no better solution. When Song Lin's beloved little assistant was beaten by Tang Xin, Song Lin exploded, yelling, "You good-for-nothing, illegitimate child, do you really think you're a young lady? You're begging me to marry you, not the other way around. I'd marry a dog before I marry you." Tang Xin was hit where it hurt most. Her face flushed, and she furiously argued with Song Lin. The reporters, who had been on standby day and night, quickly captured this scene and released it online. It was simply a convenient move. From then on, the engagement officially became a huge joke. The Song family believed Tang Xin was unreasonable, deliberately ruining their reputation, and were so furious they almost turned against my father. My father was livid, pointing at Tang Xin's face and scolding her. "Useless, you can't even keep one man. Billions in investment gone just like that. You and your mother only know how to cause trouble. Why did I ever take you in, just to add more debt to myself?" I quietly withdrew, hiding my triumph, and glanced smugly at Tang Xin. "This time, little girl, you finally lost." Unexpectedly, just as we exchanged glances, Tang Xin suddenly clutched her belly and screamed, "I'm pregnant with Song Lin's son. Even if they don't marry me, they'll still inject capital because of the baby." What did you say?" Under my father's astonished gaze, Tang Xin curved her lips into a smile. "I've decided to keep the child and let him carry the Tang surname without his father. Dad, you're about to have your only grandson." I froze on the spot, unable to recover my wits for a moment. Tang Xin haughtily leaned close to my ear. "Tang Yiao, wait until my son becomes the Tang family heir. Let's see what you'll have left to fight me with." My heart instantly skipped a beat, turning cold. How did it come to this? Was this heir position like the civil service exam, with only one fixed spot? No matter how hard I tried, would it ultimately not be my turn? A wave of defeat washed over me, but the very next second, I unexpectedly flashed an innocent, naive smile. I tried to suppress the turmoil in my heart, forcing myself to calm down. Now, my only gamble was that the child in her womb was not from the Song family. I tugged at Tang Xin's sleeve, pretending to be coy. "What are you saying, sister?" "What, fighting with you? You're pregnant with a son. I haven't even had time to congratulate you yet." Tang Xin couldn't suppress her animosity towards me and pinched me hard. "You damned green tea bitch, stop pretending. I know you're terrified right now. Just you wait, this is only the beginning. Before long, you and your mother will become superfluous in this house. I will reclaim everything that once belonged to my mother and hold it tightly in my hands." Tang Xin's ambition was greater than I imagined. Seeing my father looking our way, I ignored her provocations and immediately threw myself into Tang Xin's arms, playing the role of a sweet, close little sister. "Sister, you're truly amazing. Not only did you strengthen ties with the Song family, but you're also giving Daddy a grandson. I'll definitely learn from you and become useful to the Tang family in the future." My father was utterly delighted by this scene, his eyes filled with pride. "With 2 obedient daughters like you, plus an unborn grandson, our Tang family is sure to prosper even more." This time, his gaze was no longer on me but on Tang Xin, asking about her gently and continuously. "Tang Xin, Daddy was wrong to blame you. I never expected you to be this capable. 1 arrow, 2 targets. With this child, the Song family will be forever tied to the Tang family. Now you just need to take good care of your pregnancy. Don't worry about anything else." In that moment, with just one unexpected pregnancy announcement, Tang Xin became the daughter my father was most proud of. Seeing my father begin to place all his hopes on the baby in Tang Xin's womb, my mother nearly collapsed. She had calculated 100, 1,000 times, but never expected Tang Xin to be so ruthless, directly giving birth to a grandson to replace my position as heir. What was worse, this pregnancy wasn't with some unknown man's child, but legitimately with the Song family's son, leaving us no room to argue. My mother counted the money in her private vault, tears welling up. Was King Yama's warning true? Was Tang Xin, this illegitimate child, truly destined to steal everything from you? Fortunately, I still managed to save a few $100 million over the years. "Even if you don't become the heir, At least you won't be squeezed dry by life and die like in your previous life. Seeing my mother so disheartened and dejected, I forced myself to stay calm, gritted my teeth, and stood up. I refused to accept this. I deliberately didn't drink Lady Meng's soup precisely so that after reincarnation, I could change our destiny, mother. Song Lin originally had no feelings for Tang Xin whatsoever. I don't believe she could get pregnant so easily. There must be a hidden catch here. I racked my brain, carefully chose my words, and drafted a message to Song Lin. Brother Song Lin, congratulations on becoming a father. You've watched me grow up since I was little. You're like my closest brother, and now you're even becoming family with my sister, sharing a child too. Yiao feels so incredibly happy. Less than a minute later, my phone rang. It was Song Lin. What was that message about? What, becoming a father? What the hell are you talking about? There's no way I'd marry your cheap sister. How could I possibly like her? I wouldn't even want to hold her hand. I innocently asked. But sister said she's pregnant with your child, and it's a son too. You must really love her to have a baby with her, right? Is sister lying to me? Boo-hoo-hoo, can I still be part of your family, brother Song Lin? Who would suspect the sincerity of an 8-year-old child? Song Lin saw no malice in me at all. In fact, he felt guilty and turned around to comfort me. Yiao, don't let that wicked Tang Xin fool you. You genuinely see her as your sister, but she has never seen you as one. I'm telling you the truth. She wants to marry me only to compete with you for the family fortune. Don't be foolish and nice to her anymore. Song Lin carelessly exposed Tang Xin, his gut full of uncontained resentment. That scheming woman to trap me, she didn't even shy away from lying. If this gets out, where will I hide my face in this social circle? This useless playboy young master indeed couldn't handle any pressure. The next morning, he burst straight into the Tang family home and delivered a painful blow to Tang Xin. I've never even kissed her. Who knows whose child she's carrying? My father spat out a mouthful of hot tea. I subtly curved my lips into a smile. The real drama had officially begun. After a moment of stunned silence, my father was so angry he stamped his feet and slammed his hands. Song Lin, are you suggesting my daughter tried to trap you? You're the only boyfriend she's ever had from beginning to end. Don't you dare shirk your responsibilities. Tang Xin hadn't expected Song Lin to suddenly show up at the house. Her face instantly changed color. You, how did you know about this? Who told you? She demanded, then glared at me. Tang Yiao, is this your clever trick? You're also a Tang family daughter. Whose side are you really on? I casually held my glass of fresh milk, intentionally adding fuel to the fire. Sister, I don't understand what you're saying at all, but what was it brother Song Lin just said? I subtly signaled my mother with my eyes, and she immediately stepped forward, interjecting with a question. Song Lin, although Tang Xin is not my biological daughter, I will not allow others to bully her. Even if you two don't marry, since you got her pregnant, you must take responsibility. The Song family cannot just wash their hands of this. Hearing my mother say this, Song Lin became even angrier. He immediately unleashed a barrage of insults at Tang Xin's face. Tang Xin, we've never even slept together. Whose child is that in your belly? You know best in your heart. Who knows if you were secretly involved with some other man and then tried to pin it on me? Do you want me to be a scapegoat? No wonder everyone says you're a worthless woman. Your behavior is no different from your mother's back then. Too bad I'm not stupid enough to fall into your trap. What right do you have to pry into my private affairs? Go look in the mirror and see how rotten you yourself are. That torrent of curses struck directly at my father's sore spot. After all, Tang Xin's mother had once abandoned him to run off with another man. My father's face turned ashen after hearing this. Song Lin, you must explain this clearly to me. You cannot slander my daughter like that. Then he turned to look at Tang Xin with suspicion. Is what Song Lin says true? You two really haven't even held hands? Seeing Tang Xin's face alternating between pale and red, stammering unable to utter a word, Song Lin didn't hold back, bringing all her malicious schemes to light. Uncle, don't let Tang Xin deceive you. She wants to marry me to compete with Yiao. Her real goal is to become the heir and then kick Yiao and her mother out of the house. She doesn't care about your business or the Tang family. Everything she does is merely to satisfy her personal greed. As soon as Song Lin finished speaking, I immediately burst into sobbing tears. Sister, do you hate me that much? Why? What did I do wrong? Fearing the situation wasn't chaotic enough, I clung tightly to Tang Xin's leg, wailing at the top of my lungs. My father was bombarded with all sorts of shocking news, making him dizzy to the point of clutching his chest and gasping for air, almost suffering a hypertensive crisis. Tang Xin, you are utterly preposterous. This chaotic scene, like chickens flying and dogs barking, finally allowed Song Lin to feel a bit of anger. Seeing my lips twitching, almost splitting from suppressing laughter, Tang Xin, who had been silent until now, suddenly exploded. She pushed me away forcefully, pointed at Song Lin's face, and screamed furiously, "It's true we've never slept together, but that doesn't mean this child isn't yours. At most, I'll wait until the pregnancy is further along and get a DNA test. Even if the Song family doesn't want to admit it, they'll have to." Song Lin's eyes widened as if he'd seen a ghost. "Tang Xin, are you crazy? Go get your head examined." Just as Song Lin was about to continue his taunts, Tang Xin gritted her teeth and reluctantly dropped an earth-shattering bomb. "Because this baby, I extracted your sperm and did artificial insemination myself." I knew Tang Xin was treacherous, but I never expected her to be this ruthless. The moment this bombshell dropped, my father immediately fainted on the spot from anger. My mother frantically called 120, while also instructing the butler to administer first aid to my father. After all, my father hadn't written his will yet. If he were to die now, Tang Xin would naturally get a share of my inheritance. Song Lin was also utterly shocked. "Tang Xin, are you insane? Don't tell me you rummaged through my trash and took my used condoms." At this point, Tang Xin stopped pretending. She stroked her belly, raising her head arrogantly. "Yes, that's exactly what happened. I already knew you were a man who couldn't control himself, so I had a plan ready to extract your sperm and conceive a child for the Song family. If you were smart, thanks to this baby, we could gain more resources within the Song family, and I could firmly secure my position as the Tang family's heir. But you're too stupid. If you can't contribute anything, then get out of the way and don't hinder my career development." After saying this, she spitefully kicked me. "Tang Yiao, stop pretending. I know perfectly well you're the one who informed Song Lin to come and expose me. But unfortunately for you, no matter how smart you are, you're still just an 8-year-old child. I'm giving that line right back to you. You can't even produce an heir. What do you have to compete with me?" While my father was still unconscious, Tang Xin completely dropped her facade, revealing an arrogant demeanor as if the heir's position was already firmly hers. She even squeezed into my mother's spot, deliberately sitting right next to my father's hospital bed. "The process isn't important. The result is what truly matters. Daddy will soon understand my intentions. He won't blame me." I suppressed the anger in my heart, exchanging glances with my mother. Good, let her gloat a little longer. Soon, I'll show her what it means to borrow a knife to kill a person. I signaled my mother to stay calm and also sat by my father's bed, absolutely not allowing Tang Xin any further opportunities to take advantage. When those two left, I quickly pulled Song Lin aside, deliberately leading him on. "Brother Song Lin, do you really want that child? If that baby is truly born, will you still be able to date beautiful ladies in the future? Won't you also be looked down upon at home?" The moment I finished speaking, I hit Song Lin's weak spot. Still dazed, Song Lin immediately slammed the table and sprang up. "If she actually gives birth to this child, I truly won't have the face to live anymore. My parents will definitely scold me for being useless. I already have nothing in my hands. If that damn child also gets a share, then in this elite family, everyone is a selfish old fox." Song Lin was a hothead. Of course, he wouldn't resign himself to being controlled by Tang Xin. I sighed softly, pretending to feel sorry for Song Lin. "It's a pity you're still too kind, unlike my sister, who knows how to go to the media and reporters to badmouth you and tarnish your reputation." Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Song Lin's face indeed redden with anger, then he seemed to realize something. "Yao, you've reminded me, you're truly a genius. Does she think only she knows how to use the media? I know how too. Even if things have gotten this messy, I don't mind getting a little more scandalous." Seeing Song Lin furiously go to contact the media to release the news, I immediately felt relieved. After all, I carried the name of the Tang family. Scandalous matters like these absolutely couldn't be exposed by me directly. But if Song Lin released it, that would be different. At that point, not only would Tang Xin embarrass my father again, but the relationship between the Tang and Song families would also completely shatter. And whether that pregnancy could even continue would become an issue. Gossip sites, always craving rich family scandals, quickly followed suit. Less than an hour later, the news of Tang Xin stealing Song Lin's sperm and trying to use the child to become an heir shot straight to the top of the hot searches. The moment my father opened his eyes, the butler immediately handed him his phone to see the news. 3 seconds later, he gasped for air, his eyes rolled back, and he fainted once more. I immediately put on a distraught face, rushed to the bedside, and cried, "Daddy, Daddy, are you okay? Please wake up." I was here pretending to be utterly devoted, crying miserably. Tang Xin furiously pulled me up. "Tang Yayao, stop pretending. I know perfectly well you're behind this." Her eyes blazed with anger as if she wanted to tear me apart on the spot. "How dare you expose the Tang family's dirty laundry? Father won't spare you either. When I go down, don't think you'll escape." I still clearly remembered the principle from my civil service exam interviews. No matter the situation, always respond calmly. So, I maintained my age-appropriate innocence, my voice soft but my words laced with poison. "Sister Tang Xin, are you delusional?" It's clearly brother Songlin who was angry and released this news. What does it have to do with me? He also said that if you don't want to be mocked, don't do such shameful things. I even deliberately pointed at her belly. Now look what happened. You could have become a meritorious figure of the Tang family, an heir, but instead, you've become a laughingstock for the whole world to ridicule. Not only does the Song family want you to abort the baby, I bet my father, once he wakes up, won't want to keep this child either. Tang Xin's face turned ashen. She covered her ears and shrieked, "No way, Tang Yayao, don't get ahead of yourself." Too much had happened in just one day. Tang Xin, provoked to madness by me, raised her hand to slap me. But before her hand could even descend, an angry shout boomed from the hospital bed. "Tang Xin, what are you trying to do to Yayao?" Her hand instantly froze in midair. I burst into sobs, throwing myself into my father's arms. "Daddy, thank goodness you're awake." Yayao was worried sick. "Daddy, don't be angry with sister anymore, she's suffering too. If hitting me can help her vent her frustration, then let her hit me." Tang Xin muttered, "Tang Yayao, you bitch." Tang Xin's eyes were red with fury, but my father hugged me tightly, scolding her directly. "Enough, haven't you caused enough trouble? You've become a disgrace to the Tang family, making people ridicule us for using unscrupulous methods, while Yayao is the pride of the Tang family. The future reputation of the Tang family relies on her to revive it, and yet you still want to lay a hand on her." My father slammed his fist onto the bedside table, grinding his teeth in anger. "Before you came back, my Tang family was sailing smoothly. Since your return, it's been one scandal after another, one humiliation after another, you useless thing. If it weren't for a shred of beautiful illusion I held for your mother, you'd be nothing in this Tang family." Perhaps due to pregnancy hormones, or perhaps because my father's blatant favoritism struck a raw nerve, Tang Xin's pain was triggered. This time, she couldn't hold back anymore. Her long-suppressed resentment finally erupted. "Why are you so biased, Dad? I'm your biological daughter, too. Moreover, I'm the daughter of the woman you loved most." Tang Xin glared at me with hatred, continuing to scream like a madwoman. "I was naturally conceived by my mother, 100 times better than this test tube bastard. Everything I've done has been for you, for the glory of the Tang family. Yet, instead of helping, you criticize me for losing face. No wonder my mother took me and left all those years ago. If it were me, I would have run too." Seeing Tang Xin still refusing to yield, the rock in my heart finally settled. This silent war I was about to win completely. My father was so furious he sprang up from the hospital bed, pointing at Tang Xin's face and scolding her relentlessly. "Your mother was a gold digger back then, abandoning me to run off with another man. She was worthless. It's my fault for deliberately being a fool. I clearly knew such a woman couldn't raise a decent child, yet I still brought you home. If you didn't have her face, you'd be nothing in this Tang family. Get out. I'll slowly settle the score for the disgrace you've brought upon the Tang family." Without waiting for Tang Xin to speak, the bodyguards rushed into the hospital room and directly dragged her out. Once my father's anger subsided, my mother perfectly timed her entrance, resuming her role as the gentle, understanding wife, coaxing him until he was completely dazed. I stood by, playing the part of the sensible and warm little daughter, like a winter coat. My grandparents also arrived in time, firmly siding with me, continuously scolding Tang Xin and her mother. As expected, after a round of comforting, my father kept sighing, "Indeed, my wife and biological daughter are still the most trustworthy. I shouldn't have placed any hopes on Tang Xin. The future of the Tang family still rests on Yayao." My mother began to wipe her eyes, sobbing. "As long as you think that way, it's good. Before, when you said you wanted Tang Xin's child to be the heir, I even planned to take Yayao abroad. After all, the child couldn't compete with Tang Xin. It would be better for her to focus on her studies and live the life she wanted." My father grew frantic. "Absolutely not. Yayao is the greatest treasure of our Tang family. You worked so hard to give me a genius. How could I ever neglect you too?" Perhaps seeing Tang Xin as completely untrustworthy, coupled with a sense of guilt for being distant with me all this time, my father discussed it with my grandparents and then transferred another 5% of the company's shares to me, while also appointing my mother to a high-ranking position in the corporation. From now on, the Tang family's legacy should still be entrusted to Yaoyao's care. Only then can I rest assured. I sweetly thanked him, then stepped forward before everyone and declared, "Daddy, this time, let me handle the public relations crisis. Consider it an early internship opportunity for me. Rest assured, I will definitely deliver results that will satisfy you." Seeing me proactively shoulder the responsibility and step up to resolve the aftermath left by Tang Xin, my father was even more touched. Little did he know that my mother had spent a considerable amount of money on media management over the years, and with just one phone call, she could sway public opinion as desired. In the press release, the Tang family declared that everything was Tang Xin's personal behavior, completely unrelated to the family. The Tang and Song families would maintain their good cooperative relationship as before. As for the troubles caused to the Song family, I, representing the Tang family, would apologize in the name of the legitimate eldest daughter. After negotiating with the Song family, we immediately issued a joint statement, asserting that the rumors about the child were merely fabrications meant to tarnish their honor. I acted decisively, a single move completely erasing the existence of the child in Tang Xin's womb. The first thing my father did after being discharged from the hospital was to issue an order. "How long do you plan to keep that joke in your belly? While there's still time, go have an abortion immediately. Be a bit more obedient from now on, and I'll pretend nothing ever happened. But if you continue to cause trouble, don't blame me for being ruthless." Tang Xin cried and threw tantrums, even threatening suicide, pulling out every trick, but ultimately she had to face the truth. Unexpectedly, the previous IVF procedure had severely damaged her body. After the abortion, Tang Xin was utterly weakened, confined to bed. My father then arranged for her to stay in a nursing home, telling her to recover there and not to return home to avoid seeing her face. Song Lin breathed a sigh of relief and also came to apologize to me. "I shouldn't have cooperated with Tang Xin. I almost harmed your interests. I owe you a favor. If anything comes up in the future, just say the word." While Tang Xin was absent, I continued to win over the influential figures within the Tang family. Finally, with a commendation for winning a national math competition, I helped the Tang family sign 3 major project contracts back-to-back, conveniently being allocated another 5% of the shares. After recovering from her illness, Tang Xin cried and demanded to return home. My mother immediately blew wind in my father's ear, making him so afraid that he immediately packed Tang Xin off abroad. "You'd best go out and gain some knowledge, broaden your horizons. Once you're capable, then come back. For now, don't cause me any more embarrassment." Tang Xin once wanted to sideline me, making me superfluous in the Tang family. But now, facing me, a 9-year-old child already shining with success and fame, she could only obediently bow her head and go abroad. After all, if she didn't obey, even her last peaceful days would be lost. Later, I heard that Tang Xin couldn't get used to the climate abroad, couldn't learn English, and couldn't do anything properly. Before long, she was led astray by bad friends, spending all day drinking in bars. Seeing her so useless, my father completely lost hope and decisively erased her name from the Tang family records. Now my father was old, and his weak sperm condition had turned into no sperm at all. The slot reserved for the sole heir of the Tang family was finally securely filled by me. So, I once again took my mother to burn tens of trillions more in underworld money for King Yama. I had to tightly maintain this precious relationship in the underworld and continue to be the study king in the mortal realm. Yeah,